Welcome to our second episode in our first season of War Games here in Trimaris. This is Trimaris Talks, and we're dedicated to try to improve our war melee experience. And last weekend we had our first War Games experience, and today we have several people that are going to give us some guidance and instruction. Everybody that was at War Games, did you have a good time?
Most definitely.
We did. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We had a few field battles and a few bridge battles. I will say that it was kind of abridged because the knights had to get to a knights meeting, and that did impact, I feel, our event and our activities and our leadership. We had a very small amount of time to work. But today we have Sir Alemric and Sir Azric with us, and hopefully Sir Cherish and Earl Sushai will join us in due course. Sir Azric, I saw you on giving some good leadership and guidance on our first foray. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. How awesome was that? Saturday at TMT had over 40 people in armor sweating in the heat. We were really, really crunched for time because we had so much other stuff scheduled, the Spare tournament, and then they had the youth stuff going on. So I am really, really wanting to press the whole starting things on time. So I think we started a little after 2 o'clock, uh, which we wrapped it up. I know I was sitting in the night's meeting at 3:30, so we had a little over an hour, which was pretty good. And I'm sorry that we had to bolt like that so quickly, but the king likes to be on times, and so do I. So it was the stress test. It was kind of thrown together at the last minute, and everybody showed up, and we got it done. And we had the initial look at what we have, what we need to do, what we where we can improve, and what we have. So this is great. This is a great first step. Now we got all summer to plan. There are multiple opportunities to have practice.
Uh-oh, the aliens got him.
Oh, right in dead center of talking. All right. Well, I'm going to pick it up. Oh, is he back? Nope, we lost him completely. Did we lose somebody else too?
Azric's there. I see him still on the list.
Uh, he's on his phone, and I know he was driving.
Maybe you got a call. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay? How about
Hey, yeah, you're back.
We can hear you now.
I'm a video soaks up a little bit too much bandwidth.
So it's not just your size. Shame on you, Bjorn. You're not supposed to laugh at those things.
Well timed.
I love my man Azric, man. He's lost like 100 pounds. He's looking good.
Now he's dropped out.
Losing weight. Dob's done well too, man.
Why don't you
Dob, if you don't mind talking about how much weight have you lost since a year ago this last Gulf Wars?
So last Golf Wars, it's been well over 100. Well, actually, I gained weight after last Golf Wars. So
Excellent.
last Golf Wars, I was around 350 to 360. By July of that year, I had gotten up to about 490, 498.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 398. Sorry, 398-ish. And now I've lost, as of this morning, I'm 276 pounds. So,
Dude, that's
Way to go.
100 and something pounds. You should
yeah,
be
100
very proud
something.
of that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to wait on Osric. Let me see. I need a screen share, please, Mr. Guillermo.
All right, I give you the
Sergeant Guillermo.
power. Let's see, make you host. You are now host.
Share. Share screen. I gotta go to Facebook. Get out of the way. There we go. All right. So before I get too far into these, I'm only going to look at the first three videos, and then we're going to look at some of these other videos together. I didn't get a chance to. I apologize. I didn't get the chance to tear these down, but I was looking at them on my phone, and they just weren't allowing me to see what I wanted to see, and I got frustrated with it, and then I forgot about it. Now that I'm on my computer, we're in a really good spot where I can show you folks some things. What I chose to do tonight. What's that? Come on in, Brightor. We're on a meeting. So Brightor is going to join the meeting apparently without his own place. At any rate, shoot, lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? So,
Videos.
videos, yeah. So on these videos, what I chose to do was is we're going to really kind of concentrate on the things that we've done really well. Might talk about a couple things that I saw, and it's going to be very brief about what's negative in these three films. But once we go beyond these three films, we'll let you guys. We're going to look at film 4, 5, and 6. I think if we got time, and we're going to try to see what we can see together, and then that way. You guys are seeing how I see the field in this first three and know what to look for. We can all look for these things and uh, together and see what we can find. This is Maisie's first bat. Come on, get out of the way. I can't get this bar out of the way. Hold on a second. There we go. Back to here. All right. We're gonna watch this all the way through, and then we're gonna wind it back.
Are you sending them or are you just doing their?
No, I'm just letting it come over the word.
Yeah, no. I've been sending them and then clicking
Guys,
close.
please mute your phones or your videos. Please mute yourselves.
Really. Okay. Back to my room. Okay.
All right. So, anybody see anything in particular they want to discuss? Oh, there's Cherish. Let's put Cherish on. Sir General Cherish, we can't hear you. You got to unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you want to jump in?
Okay.
We lost Oz. He was talking about it starting up, and I said we'd go into this and give it right to you as soon as you showed up.
Yeah, I'm on a call right now. So let me go ahead and go first. And I got some notes. First off, it was fantastic. Everybody was out there, even when it was just crazy, crazy hot. Let me pull up my notes.
There is a report, so where do you find the report?
I was all prepared for this, and then I got a call. I was hoping to
Well,
not have got a call.
Cherish, to be quite frank, the fact that you're calling in from your call with your notes on you is amazing dedication to us. We appreciate you.
Show report.
All right, so I'll go through my notes real quick. Both teams need to prepare.
So Cherish, could you all 1 second? Whoever's got their audio on, you need to shut it off, please.
Please
They
mute
got it.
yourselves. Everybody mute.
Okay, good. All right, excellent. So I'm going to tell it both teams it's going to be up there, their responsibility now to prepare. We're going to make sure that there's plenty of shields and spears and all the different things to fight with when they come out there. But it's going to be up to you to prepare. I kind of did Hydra a disservice by prompting Kraken. And I was like, guys, like there's shields available to you. And they were available at the beginning and nobody picked up a shield. So I'm not going to do that again, but I want both teams to take a look at what extra stuff we have there and take a look at their team and see what they need before they go out.
Sir Cherish, could I add something real quick?
Yeah, real quick.
I would also ask everybody to check themselves and their pride, because there are several people that were using tourney shields, and I encouraged them to pick up a war shield, and they didn't. And that's their personal preference. I understand that. But your role in the wall is not the same as when you're fighting in tourney. And I understand that the shields are heavy, but you got to check your pride and humble yourself when you're on the shield wall.
I'm gonna add to that too. It's not so much it's pride, but it's comfort. I know people are comfortable with their tourney shields, but you cannot protect your brethren with a tourney shield. If you have a shield, now there's a time and a place for a shield if you are on that job. But if you're going to be on that shield wall, pick up one of the war doors. We're going to do some training on the war doors because they're static and dynamic. So we'll do some training with it so you'll know how to use it properly. But understand your role is going to be to protect your team members, which is a pretty awesome and honorable thing to do. But all the equipment will be there for everybody. Pay attention to what's on your team. Are you spear heavy? Can you afford for 4 of you to go get your shields so the spears can work? Your archers are there. So you take a look at what your team has and bring to the table what it needs. Gonna go with listen and communication. I heard both teams yelling orders and commands, and I heard those orders and commands, and then I heard both teams complaining that the orders and commands weren't being relayed. So it's a matter that's literally what's going to get better as we do this. We're going to get used to people giving commands. We're going to get used to hearing those commands and understanding what they are. Both the captains are working together now to come up with a common language, common commands, and that's going to be used throughout the army on both sides. Gotta go around. Gotta go around. That's going to be used on both sides. We're going to need people to yell louder, and we're going to need people to listen more and know what it is they're listening for. That's next. I'll go with Kraken. Kraken has fantastic flank. They did such a good job flanking. Shosai is fantastic at that, and he can teach lessons on how to flank and how to counter. But they did a really good job with that. Again, with Kraken, remember your shields are needed as well. When Kraken first started, the first person picked up a war shield. Kraken had fantastic archers. I'd like to see a little better communication in between the shieldmen and the archers because they have such superior archers, but it'd be great to have the communication between the archers and the shield. It's like shieldman ahead of me, step to your left for 3 seconds for an archer arrow or something similar, whatever the commanders come up with. But so the shieldman knows to part or to move. So everybody acts as a unit. We know to do that for the spearmen already when they call a command, but I think we can get some better communication between the archers and the shield and the archers and the spearmen when it comes to that. Kraken.
I think it'd be I would agree with you in saying that we should probably just institute that. We need to trust our archers, and our shieldmen need to our archers need to trust the shieldmen kind of thing, and we need to make sure the shieldmen understand that that's what's going on.
I think a lot of it was Kraken was not prepared for the war doors. They weren't prepared for the shield wall initially. However, they did pick them up. I prompted them and they picked them up. And then they did a fantastic job locking together. Sure. They also did a good job taking that lefty fighter and putting him on the left. That's something that we overlook a lot. And a lefty fighter on the left side of a shield wall is a huge resource. People forget that the person on the left could be a lefty and you just light them up. They completely disregard that left arm. So Kraken did a great job with that. I noticed that. I want to see Kraken train shield wall and the difference between static and dynamic. They did a great job considering they didn't start out and they're not a shield wall unit, but they locked up, had good communication. I saw they did have good coverage over their head, but they were a static shield wall too, and there was certain times where they needed to be dynamic, so they needed to move across and be dynamic there. And I really just think they're going to be able to do a good job with that. Next, I'll go over to.
Are you going to get Moose Lodge to demonstrate or teach a class for that later on?
I would like to do that, actually. I like Moose Lodge, and I know Sir Kelwin was wanting to teach a class. So we are going to have some shield wall classes, and I think the more the merrier, because everybody's got a good perspective and a different perspective on it. So I'd like to see Kraken in a good shield wall class, and I'd like to see Hydra in a good flank and a counter flank class. With Hydra, some of the things I noticed, they did a great job. They got the shields out initially and they locked up. Their shield wall was often the last guys left on the field. So the shield wall did a great job holding the line, and they had a lot of good discipline. I know that the flanks got them. The flanks got them in the field battle. Of course, the flanks were fantastic. They got them in the field battle, but the shield stayed together. They tried not to get flanked as much as possible, and they basically had to get surrounded and beat, but they did a really good job with discipline and staying in the line. Again, with Hydra, I'd like to see Hydra learn how to respond to a flank. Again, that's something else Sir Shoshai can teach you. So, and that's going to be where, maybe tourney shields, the guys with the tourney shields and that are fast on their feet. We get 3 or 4 of those guys that are in the back that aren't on the shield wall. That's where it's going to be where you decide who's going to be better with the tourney shield or at least something that's a little bit faster rather than the war door. But you got to figure out who's going to be best for those teams. And I apologize to Hydra for prompting Kraken. I should have kind of let Kraken go because they did have superior archers and numbers with spears. And I guess being a shield wall person myself, I couldn't help it. And I reminded them like there are shields available, and I shouldn't have given them that advantage in this game. But it is the preseason game, so I apologize to Hydra because I did give them that advantage, and I'll make sure not to do that. If you're on a team and you didn't bring your tools, then you don't bring your tools. So that's on.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that's on me. So here we had Hydra with a superior shield wall and Kraken with superior flanking. Both of those are very, very valuable tools. And I'd like to see both teams train on the other one and also train on how to counter the flank, how to counter a shield wall. So I want to see both teams learn to respond to each of those. And it will all improve on that. Like I said, the commanders are working on commands. And so before the fall, we'll have common speak commands that are going to be universal throughout both teams. Also, Dom brought up a good point, and I'd like to see this come up in the future too, is going to be siege weapons. So start wrapping your head around siege weapons, and if you're authorizing siege weapons and what it's going to take to bring those into play. We'll let you know when they do come into play. We'll let you know. But that is something that we're looking forward to in the future. Sorry to run through that really quick. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay on, but I wanted to get all that out. It was a good job, and I'm really, really excited to see the season start. Thanks, guys.
Sir Cherish, can I ask you a few questions?
Yes, sir.
I got
Of
one
course.
as well, or one or two as well.
Relating to some of the things that you mentioned, for the sergeant, it seemed, and the
Hang
captain,
on.
of course, before a battle, it seems like we should be mindful of who we're going to use to meet the flank, looking and deciding who's going to be in that reserve role in it before the battle.
You're on mute. Hold on, Cherish. I'll get it.
She's talking to somebody.
Oh,
And the other thing, it sounds like we need to be ask before the battle who's left-handed, so we can best utilize them and effectively.
So I have a quick comment, maybe question. Once
yeah.
we get
If Cherish comes on, make sure you give her back the floor.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Edward.
for the helmet drapes, once we get them, it might be a good idea to assign everybody a number and paint that number on the helmet drape. Comment earlier about the archers needing someone to move brought that to mind, because then they can say
that's accurate, because you might not recognize somebody in their garb but not in their kit.
Yeah, but if you got the number and each fighter knows what their number is, the archer can say, "Hey, Kraken number 5."
Adric, tell Cherish again what you just said.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I'm on a call.
Yeah. My comment was that I think that if once we get the helmet drapes, if we assign everybody a number and they memorize their number, we paint the number on the helmet drape. So an archer behind you, they may not know who the heck you are, but they know that you're Kraken number 5. So they go, "Hey, Kraken number 5, take one step to the left."
I like it.
That's brilliant.
Simples work. Simple works, and we're creating better teamwork. Yeah.
That's a great idea, because it'd be like, fighter number 3, and they're talking to you because you're so focused. That's such a great idea. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Guillermo, what was your question exactly?
Sorry, Guillermo, I didn't know.
Not a problem. It was just an observation from what you shared, that it sounds like before a battle, to prepare for the battle, we should identify who's left-handed and also identify who's going to be in the reserve team to meet the flanks. It sounds like that's prep work that we have to do in advance.
Yep. And these games will help, and that'll come naturally, because the more we play these games, the more we'll realize, like, oh, these 3 guys are fast and they're really good with their tourney shields. And then, Moose Lodge, we all know that Moose Lodge is good on the shield wall. So you got some mooses, you throw them up front. You throw them up front on the shield wall. You grab some guys that are really quick and that can run, and you put them on, you're going to counter. And then, you go with Soshai with how to train that. So we'll learn. Oh, and we got these guys. These guys have to be on spear, and then of course, your archers. You'll learn who does what the best, and then you automatically have them. Okay, you're going to be here. However, if we get flanked, I need you guys to be the counter of that flank. So it goes with a lot of planning ahead of time, but as the games progress, we're going to start learning what all of our strengths are. We're going to learn what our strengths are, and we're going to maximize our strengths, and we're going to take away our own weaknesses.
I love it.
Hey, the fuck? Do not. Sorry.
I'm just listening.
Get him, Cherish. All right. So all valid points and suggestions, and quite frankly, I'm such an aggressive. No, I can't say that I'm that aggressive. I was about ready to say that I'm so aggressive in my movement forward that I don't generally worry about my flank killing too deep. And then, but saying that we left.
If you can't see it from that side, you got to go to the gate and look.
Who was on the phone here around the meeting?
I thought you meant our gate. I was going through our gate.
I muted him.
Hey, Sir Alemric.
Yes.
One of the things that takes us back military wise is PCCs and PCIs. I did put it in a chat, but pre-combat checks and pre-combat inspections.
All right. Hold that thought. Let me finish where I'm at. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But yes, I do. That's something we should offer. Well, do it. I'll be honest. Well, now it's come out in the meeting. We'll make sure both sides know. But some of the things we're doing, reason we're doing these meetings is so that you guys can share ideas across, when you come up from them. Oh, Hydra did their quartermasters, man. They had everything, olives and lemons and oranges and drinks and, fruit and the whole 9 yards, for everybody down there. You guys did the shield wall really, really well on Kraken, and did some other things well on in your communication. They got their mantles done first, so you guys are going to see and be able to bounce ideas off of each other as we move forward. But yeah, make sure we'll come back to that PCI thing, and if not this one, let's get it kicked around for people to understand it. In fact, just build out what you think it means for the SCA, and then present it to both the captains. All right.
Hey guys, real quick, Sir Azric, I'm back.
Yeah, go ahead,
I apologize. I'm now at my own Wi-Fi. So continue. I'm sorry. I'm back.
I love you, man. You're fucking goofy. Anyway, going back to Guillermo's statement about being prepared before the fight. Oh, I know where I was at. 100-man. I had a 100-man team. I got to run at my first Golf Wars as Squire, whatever, year 5, underneath Gold Star. And we had Gold Star at that time was about 80 men and women that year fighting. And then we had Wind Rider was there with 10 to 12, and Duntier, that was their last biggest year that I've seen them fight together, was they had 10 or 12 as well. And they were on the left flank. So as we were moving across into the field battle that year, we had people to, shore up our flanks, but we were so aggressive in what we were doing and getting our asses handed to us regardless, that I just had them to plug holes. At any rate, what we're going to do real quick is we're going to jump into these videos. Like I said before, these 3 videos, we're going to watch this one again, and then we're going to talk about some things that went really, really well in it. We'll do that for video 2 and 3 if we got enough time, and then we'll do 4, 5, and 6 together. Like I said, I've already watched these 3, and you'll see how I see the field as we take comments from you guys, and then hopefully you learn what makes for a fast eye and a fast mind on the field. So here we go.
Can you maximize it when you hit play?
Take the shot. Unload your bolt. You got it on pan. Take the shot. Yes.
All right. So I'm going to bring it back here, and it's going to pause. Go ahead and unmute yourselves for the time being, and we'll discuss this video together. What did you guys see in this? This was already broken down. This was one of probably the last. It was the first video loaded because it was the last video she shot. So we're going to see some of these videos in reverse. But what did you see about this fighting where it was broke down at? Anybody? There's no right or wrong answer. We're here to correct each other. Feel free to unmute yourself and say something.
I think that was the last bridge battle, and it looks like the spearmen
Yep.
were forming a bit of a cup.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to pull it up again on my own computer. The latency coming from your stream isn't really helping me out, so
Is everybody having a hard time watching this video?
it might just be me. My eyes are
No,
pretty
it was
bad.
Just you. It
All
was
good.
stuttering a bit.
All right, well then I'll do it this way. So there's the bridge. All right, the other bridge is along this line right here. And we have poles being stuck up because it's an enclosed bridge, so the archers can only shoot down the angle of the bridge, right? We've got a fighter on his knees. There's a spearman on the other side of him. We have Sir Kalen running on a crossbow. We have a spearman that's fixing to come in frame here on the left, and we got Sir Seamus right here, okay, and Sir Thomas slacking, holding a spear. Well, he's really holding the corner pole, but at any rate, we can't really see what's going on over here because these folks are blocked. But there's about 6 or 7 fighters on this side. I know there's at least one spear. We're going to see a shield rush here in a bit. So at the beginning of this, as we pay attention to me moving this forward just a little bit at a time, this guy in red right here versus what Sir Seamus is doing here, pay attention and watch what the outcome is as this slowly comes forward. All right. And I believe he's dead. He's walking off, the guy in red. So when I see this, you got Sir Seamus sitting over here making sure that they're not going to rush that side because he's using the corner of this pole of that bridge, walled bridge.
He's
right?
using his environment.
Yep. He's using his environment. But what about this guy over here? He was in and out of frame in 12 seconds. But what was he
trying
doing?
to use Seamus as a distraction and got himself lit up as soon as they recognized him.
Yeah, Hanko, you're right. But I think he also, he's using a lot of energy and he's not getting a whole lot done, right? He comes into frame, he comes over this way, he's jumping around a little bit, gets over here, jumps around, gets killed, and has to walk out. He was there all of 12 seconds.
He should have
For
chosen his
Seamus,
moment. I think using Seamus as a distraction to gig someone isn't a bad idea, but he hung around in that pocket way too long and got himself ganked.
It didn't look very coordinated. Seamus had the pocket pretty secure. There could have been something else done with less effort from the red fighter.
Right. And I'm going to go ahead a little bit further here.
That spearman got taken out by an arrow.
Oh, the spearman in red?
Yes, about 10 seconds in, he's in position, and then you see an arrow just like fall at his feet, and he backs out after that.
Oh, I missed that. Who's that speaking?
Sorry, this is Bjorn.
Oh, that was Bjorn. Okay, I didn't see.
I gotta find this video.
At any rate, regardless of how he got killed, he's in there so fast. He's really not paying attention. All right, so we know he got killed by an arrow. Well, Sir Seamus is using this terrain so the archers can't kill him. But at the same time, you don't see him gallivanting out there to take anything unexpected, right? He's being very picky about his shots, and he's making sure he's keeping those folks off over there. Now, here in a second, I really wished I could play this. When you get an opportunity, go back and look at this. There is a dead giveaway in this video all the way around here that I was looking at what Sir Seamus was done, and it was so apparent to me that I had to play the video back over just to see make sure I saw what I saw and it was doing what I'm doing. This gentleman in red, I don't know if it'll work while I'm clicking it forward. He looks to his left twice. To me, because of the way he looks to the left in the video, I don't know if we're going to be able to get it here. Let me see if I can. If it comes through, watch that gentleman in the red there, this guy right here. Watch his head if it comes through for you. There goes once. There's twice. And that shield wall is getting ready to come. If I'd have saw that at Golf Wars or Penzic, I'd have called those guys to prepare for to be hit, right? Because they're getting prepared for charge. That's the proper word, right? It would have gave that young man, and it would have gave that young man in the shield wall down here on his knees an opportunity to brace a little bit better. Kaylin may have been more prepared for it if either her or Seamus Shaw saw that same thing. I'm going to let you guys watch it again. Watch him. I'm going to move it back just a little bit because it blurred at the beginning. You might not have been able to see the first one.
Are you able to drop a link to these posts in
They're on the
Zoom
Trimaris
chat?
Army.
Okay.
So right here, the guy, he just looked once. He took a half step forward, and he looks at, well, he already looked twice. I'm sorry, we were talking. And then that shield wall comes forward, right? He's obviously listening to Emmanuel or whoever set it up over here. Norm's over here behind Franco, right? So the little things you're looking for is anything in that's uncommon to what's going on around you. There's going to be certain movements when guys are in clashing on each other. They are there's less to see, but eventually that clashing slows down, and there's like waves crashing against the ocean. Dom and I were talking about it the other night, and he was like, "Oh, it's like watching a house breathe that's on fire before it gets ready to burst." You know, you got to come up with these analogies that make sense to you as to what all this means. But there's literally the calm before the storm. Before a group like on that first video, the calm before the storm wasn't loud. It wasn't stopped fighting. It was just his movement to indicate that he was listening to whoever was to his left before they made a shield charge to take out. By the way, aggression wins your battles. But I had another note on aggression.
I want to interrupt.
Give me 1 second to find this. There it is. Good aggression. Oh, super aggressive is going to get you killed, right? Which is what that red spearman was doing, in my opinion. Controlled aggression gets you the win. All right. So aggressive wins. Super aggressive gets you killed, right? I wanted to make sure you guys understand that, and you'll see the why in this next video. And if anybody can point it out when you watch it, I want you to tell me who was too aggressive. By the way, if you can hear him saying ready on that camera, you should be able to hear your commands. Okay, if you don't have bad latency, there was two people that were too aggressive. Who were they?
One of them ripped through the shield wall. The first one to
Yep. We'll go back to that. Where's
he
that
didn't have anyone backing him up.
Right
He
here.
was off by himself.
Right there. Look at this guy. He got up there too quick, and that Glaveman killed him, right?
Who was another one?
I felt like my glaive almost lifted him off the ground.
Is that you, Bjorn?
That's me.
Oh, you were sick, dude. I was like, I need to find out who that Glaveman is. I didn't know what your kit looked like.
That was me.
Who was the second one? Anybody know?
There's a guy that plowed through the shield wall and he went into the enemy territory all by himself.
Sir
Alemric. Right here.
He was. It looked like Johnny was in there, and then someone else came through the shield wall after the.
This is Jade.
First push.
This is Jade. All right. Everybody see where I'm circling?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. She comes
pushed
through.
Up.
She starts walking through, and she tunnel visioned. Here's Sir Seamus. Too aggressive and not paying attention to her surroundings. She got jabbed in the face, and she walks off right after that. Okay. The aggression and commands. I have a certain opinion about aggression and commands. There's a time and a place for them to be echoed. When you're in the thick of it, when you're in the grinder, they need to be echoed. And you don't care who hears the echo. I don't care how loud you call your commands. All right. And here's why. I call a command. Actually, well, it doesn't really matter. I was going to do something, but that's just silly. Bjorn's going to understand this. From the Army position, there's a call for the command, and then there's an execution for the command. Okay. And so by the time you listen to my call for the command and I call the execution of it, you're already trying to, I got you, Cherish, let you in a second. Your opponent is already trying to
Deny.
figure out how to deny what you're about ready to do. Okay. So I did this at Penzik, and then I left the battlefield, and Cormac picked it up really quick. He says, I just did what you did and commanded the way you did. And he helped take the Woods battle for the mid realm. And so as we grow into this, in my opinion, there's going to be a time and a place, and it's something I haven't had a chance to discuss with, but we are going to move forward with however the general and the melee teams decide as a whole. I want to make sure we understand that. But going back to this, the too aggressive gets you killed here on the inside. Let me read my notes for. Oh, Cherish, you wanted to say something really quick while I'm looking at my notes for video 3?
I did real quick. I wanted to add in, yes, as far as commands, we got to make sure that we're repeating commands and stuff, but we also do need to be careful that the right people are giving commands. So don't just start yelling commands. If you see something, if you've got a commander that's nearby, be careful. Just be careful from making a confusion if somebody's got something that they're operating on. So. And again, as we progress in our games, this will get a lot easier to do. I just want to kind of throw that out there so somebody doesn't see something, yell a command. And I did see that this past game. One person saw that, yelled a command, and it threw off the whole line. And they were just yelling at a command at one other person, and the whole line responded to it. So be careful with stuff like that with your commands that you're giving, and repeat. Make sure to repeat the command.
She's absolutely right. By the way, the reform in video 2 for both sides looked really sharp to me. Going back to video 1, I was talking about the aggression. We talked about the giveaway. We talked about Seamus being efficient and the red guy spearman jumping around and getting killed. So video 3, right, there we go. Let's go to video 3, and then we got enough time, and we'll do some questions really quick if anybody wants to ask questions, and then we can talk about these next videos together. We'll look at them together. So video 1, or yeah, there it goes. Video 3. Oh, I turned off the mute. Hold on a second. Let me back this up. This is important. Let your spears work. Good communication there. Loud enough for everybody on the line to hear.
Turn it over.
Good communication to the opposition by Sir Seamus.
This was the time for them to be a lot more.
Oh, what the heck? That might not have been the next video I watched. Let's go to this one here. Here we go. No, it's the same one. I think I just had communication, and I think somebody echoed a command
Turn it over.
in this one. Never mind. I apologize again, folks. Oh, no, I think I skipped a video. I think it was this one.
There you go.
Videos got mixed up somehow.
I like how that shield wall advanced.
We'll look for comments. We're basically looking at this one together.
Video. Shot on you. Lisa Benedict.
What's the rule of the game for Hey.
I'd like to talk a little bit about what Duke Yon did in this battle at some point.
This is when you gotta.
But you see that, and I see that. But...
So just looking at this picture, and then we'll move on to a couple other things. Who had any comment about this video at all, if you could see it? Oh, they're so shy. Welcome, so shy.
Yeah, I had one about how this shield wall is advancing on a wedge. So they're the right side.
Oh, you read my mind. Read my mind.
Which And then I know that Sir
Yeah.
Giro was wanting to talk about Sir Yon.
Yeah. See that line there? Anybody that wants to unmute and say why that's a good thing?
Looks like they're not keeping perfectly perpendicular to the ledge. They're keeping that the straight angle a straighter angle of
Snowplow.
approach. But they're keeping their
What is it?
spearmen.
Who said it?
Snowplow.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically like a snowplow,
yeah.
right? If these
It's
folks,
beautiful for the bridge battle because
oh, it's Hanko, okay.
you can force them into squeezing them into a tight pack and brutalize them with a snowplow on a bridge, on a tight situation.
If it hasn't been read out,
Please,
it doesn't
all right,
go over
listen,
into the
please
meta
only
text
speak
system.
one at a time. And in
And
fact, you got to
yeah,
have raise your
probably.
hand button
Not
to start. You start using your raise
That's
your
the
hand button,
usual
please.
issue,
Otherwise, stay on mute.
because most people access it through Stephanie Bowden.
Is that Nisus?
Mm.
I think that's Nisus and JFL. All right. What do you want to say about Sir Yon?
Well, at the beginning of that about the mid this battle was, I believe, the longest battle we had of the day. And Sir Yon, about midpoint, he stepped in front of a hydrated wall,
I'm not seeing anything for today.
and he basically stood
in
in the no man land zone, and he stopped the line for a good long while, just by standing in front of Kraken's wall, and it went on, I think, way too long, because as magnificent as Yon is, he could have been taken out with three fighters, just moving up and enveloping him. He didn't have to hold up that line as long as he did. That was Kraken basically let him stand there, but he could have been taken out with three fighters. The other thing he did that was really cool. Stop right there.
Yeah.
He was kind of hanging out right in that corner of the wall, and everybody forgot that he was there. And as the line stepped up, he took somebody out right around the corner, and it was really cool.
Let me see if I can. I was trying not to. I kept muting it. I thought it was like my phone. If you mute one video, you mute them all, but I guess not. Keep opening and mute. Unmuted. So at any rate, I want to go back to what little bit that I've watched in these shows. We can tear these apart again at another time if you want to, Guillermo. But I want to say in general, even though I wasn't able to make it down and watch, having seen what I saw at Golf Wars last year and Golf Wars this year, this is closer to what it was the year before, with all of our armies and allies working together. But this year at Golf Wars, I know Moose Lodge was doing a hell of a job on the right-hand side of the ravine. It's the only battle I went out for this last year because I was running a little physically unhealthy. And we were severely outnumbered by the time we got to the ravine battle. I see Trimaris doing really great things and preparing for next Golf Wars, so that regardless of whether we're outnumbered or not, we're going to do the right thing. And I wish Cherish was on right now, but Azric's on, and the rest of you can confirm this. When Cherish says we've got a great shield wall and we have a great flanking unit, and I'm so shy, nod your head if you agree with this. We have a very good old strategy. I'm not going to say what the strategy is, what it's called, but well, it's a hammer and anvil strategy, right? You agree with that? So shy. Here, I can ask. There you go. With us having one army that's really good at flanking, and we got another army that's really good at shield wall, or division rather, right now, we've got a great hammer and anvil tactic to go into Golf Wars with, don't you think? I don't think your mic's working, Joe. We can see your lips moving and you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. check your output on your Zoom meeting. There should be an output somewhere you can check for.
There was some feedback. Sir Dominic wanted to share on the battlefield.
Yeah, sure. We can go on different things.
Sir Dominic, you there?
Joe, you keep trying to talk and I'll pay attention and we'll get you in here. We'll hear
Oh,
you eventually if you get it right.
yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, Dom.
All right. Yeah, I just had to go outside because all the kids are, being kids inside. So, um, uh, as far as what I saw and everything, and what I kind of wanted to say is, first of all, I think both sides did a great job. Really, really proud of my guys and how they did, and they worked really hard. We had I had like 5 war shields, but they were back at the list field. They got left there. So that is something we need to do better. Is like we had a lot of the same logistical things as far as war shields and provisions for fighter support and stuff like that. What we had a breakdown in is we didn't get it to where it needed to be. So that's something that the Hydra team definitely did better than us, and we need to improve on. So to get that worked out, uh, um, I saw we had a lot of good communication, and Shosai, he was there, kind of on my left side, and he was helping me. I was kind of leaning on him a little bit because he's such a commander. I was able to kind of pull um, from him for some help on that. And he was kind of picking up where I was putting down. Now, one of the things that I set up, and I don't know if the Hydra guys have got it set up the same way, but I've been working on getting having some division commanders and and then unit commanders. So we have basically a order of succession. So if like in the second field battle, when Nisus shot me in the first millisecond of the battle, then Thomas knew that he was supposed to take over, and if Thomas gets taken out, then Tom gets, and then Shosai, and so on and so forth. Kind of, I think that's something that we could all benefit from, having a distinct order of succession for the commanders. So
Why is that important? Why is that important?
Because you can't, if you leave everything without, if you leave your soldiers and everything without anybody to command them, they're gonna fragment. They're not gonna be organized. They're just gonna get picked apart. We've seen that time and time again. It's like I had talked to Nisus, and I was like, okay, if we get out there, go and take out whoever's in control of Moose Lodge's shields. Take the knight that's pushing them, that's in charge of them. Shoot him first. Shoot Greg first. If Greg's in armor and if Greg's out there, he can take half our army out just on his own. Make sure you get Seamus. These guys who are, they're the spear gods. Make sure you get them. And because not only are they excellent spearmen, they're also excellent commanders. So we're just kind of that tactic that even that we had during the revolution, where we were targeting officers with our guerrilla warfare style. The British didn't like that very much, and then the armies break down to savages, and then we have the advantage if you still have a good command structure.
Now, here's what's funny about what you just said for the Mel Gibson movie where he was doing that. Then there's the Mel Gibson movie where you were soldiers, where you say you will learn the role of the man above you and below you. You know their role.
Exactly.
So that's the short and concise version of it. If you understand what's going on and you know what the last order was given, or in my case, what I've done when you get up to where you're general at Golf Wars, what was one thing I'm gonna shout out Nisus if he's on. Is Nisus still on, or did he pop off? At any rate, Nisus had all the battles memorized for Golf Wars. I didn't bother to even look at the page because 90% of the time you get there and the marshals are changing either what the game is or what the rules of the game are. However, the Crown's been getting on that a little bit more. But what I did with the allied generals is I said, this is we're going to talk about the fight. We're going to decide who you want to fight with for each fight, or you can fight this way for the whole week. And you guys are going to determine how you're going to get to whatever objective based on where you choose to fight and who you choose with. I'm not going to tell you how to run your armies because I command differently. Mid-realm commands differently. So,
Hey,
but
can you hear me okay? I'm at.
yeah, we can now.
Hey guys, I'm in the house now. I just a quick note about Saturday. This was a straight up crash test, stress test. Yeah, all things didn't happen on time, and there was a little confusion as to where it was going to be and all that. So man, take it all with a grain of salt. This was the first time. Now we know going forward where we're going to be, what times things are going to happen, where stuff needs to be. We're looking at planning the next ones to be on Sunday at 9:30 in the morning. So all the non-heavy stuff for melees will be on Saturday, and then Sunday morning
Well, we have to
9:30.
have that approved by their Majesties and Highnesses.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But that's what we're hoping to do, and knock it out, get it in, get it done, and then get in the pool. So
Yeah.
that's all.
Um, so at any rate, knowing the role of the man above him or woman above leadership above and below you, that's going to be key because you might have to drop down and be the person who picks up a shield wall, or a shield to fight in a shield wall for a fight, or you might have to do it right in the middle of a fight. Shoot, I switch all the time. I go from shield wall to spear, depending on what I need in the middle of a resurrection battle, what I think is going to be important if I got to go re-engage the line. All right. And you're going to see guys like Sir Houck and myself. We love to get up there in the shield wall with the soldiers because that's where all the action's at, really. The spear guys, they're at shield walls are teamwork, and spear guys are glory hounds. So I do a little bit of both. But spear guys aren't glory hounds. They're really good at what they do. But anybody got any questions? I would challenge you to go back and so shy. Did you get your mic working yet? We still haven't heard from you. Uh, Again, I can see your mouth moving a little bit, but we can't hear you. So, any questions? Feel free to turn your mic on and ask
So
any.
Shy did type something in chat, something relating to what y'all are talking about.
I didn't see it. Let me go back to chat.
If you get killed, die loudly. I do not know you got hit in that battle.
Everybody understand that?
So, announcing your death. I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead.
Why can I not see that?
If you die loudly, then people know to fill the gap.
I can't see that for some reason. I didn't see it. Sorry, I can't see your message somehow.
Your bottom of your Zoom, there's a chat button.
Yeah, I'm looking at my chat on the side here. I just don't for the last thing I see is Hanko putting in a call to guys on the right and to keep Kern's spear tip in the dirt.
It was right before that.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, so that's very important.
Question: would a loud gurgling scream be considered acceptable for a death cry?
No, it's you're yelling "I'm dead" so that they know you're dead. It's not dramatic stuff.
Understood.
I generally yell it out loud 3 times as I'm stepping out.
Yeah, dead, dead, dead. That way you don't get hit.
Yep.
Are we switching away from the word good, or is that in different context? It's good to call the blow and then I'm dead.
Good is tournament. Dead is melee. So that the guy to the
Gotcha.
right left you knows that you're dead, that they know they need to fill that hole and they're not going to. Here's why it's important since you're asking that question. If I'm sitting next to Soshai and I get killed and I just turn and walk and I got killed because my shield wasn't positioned, and this is assuming Joe's in a, well, it doesn't really matter. If he's in a on a glaive or on a shield wall to my right, regardless, if he's to my right and I get killed and I don't say anything, who's dead next? Joe is, because he doesn't know that I'm not protecting his flank anymore, because Joe knows that when I'm there, I'm communicating with him generally, and all of a sudden I don't communicate that I'm dead. He assumes I'm still there and he's getting hit by the spearman in the gut next. That makes sense?
Understood.
What did you guys see anything? What good things did you see, or what things you think we need to work on? I'm open to
I
listening
think what meeting the flank is something we definitely need to work on. Being able to meet the flank.
I
So
think it's also. I would also recommend that the people who don't know melees. I saw two different spearmen in the battlefield scenarios who ended up by themselves. Behind, like just out in the middle of no man's land, archer targets. So I just grabbed him by the shoulder and said, "Come with me. You're going to join this flank, this side. There's no
you know
reason
what?
to be alone."
Oh, I'm sorry, Bjorn. I was looking at that and thought you were finished. You know what, Mr. Guillermo, give me Sergeant Guillermo, give me the thing back. I want to go back to give me share screen back. Since Joe brought it up in chat, he says that was Dom getting killed early on the first field battle. Hammer and Anvil worked great. Back to the hammer and anvil. Hammer and anvil is one of the easiest.
you have control. I
Do
don't
I?
care.
Okay, let me go back to share screen here because
While
it
you're
does.
doing that, let me read what Soshai wrote. I think about announcing your death. That was allow. That was about Dom getting killed early on the first field battle. Hammer and anvil worked great. Back to the hammer and anvil.
That's down here, I think. Oh, there's more videos. I didn't get to see all those
In
ones.
the first battle, Black Sword flanked right.
Can you guys see my screen again?
Not this time.
All right, hold on. I gotta figure out why I didn't do that. Let me find the video first, anyways. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. All right. I think this is what you're talking about, Joe. Where'd my Zoom meeting go? Can you try to give me back control again?
Okay, yeah. Travis, where are you at?
Oh, Sir Alemric. Oh, maybe this is why. Can you see it now?
Stop. Make host. Yes.
All right, share. Share.
You're good now.
All right, hold on a second. Is this the video you're talking about, Joe? This looks like it may have been the first fight.
I am so happy to watch this here in May, getting ready for Gulf Wars in March. That just fills my Twinkie.
Penzik's coming.
So we lose it because of the trees, whoever's videoing this. But to what Joe or to what Sir Soshai said, if you watch, this is almost like a double handle and anvil. It's called a double envelopment. You're gonna have your anvil in the middle of the field where they just stop, and Sir Soshai's unit flanks out here on the right. And if you're looking deep into the video, you'll see the left flank flanks as well. So there's a group right here that already took off, or at least one guy did. This group right here in the middle stayed, and Sir Soshai's group came out around the flank. They kill everybody in their way, and they go to move on to engage the middle of the opposition. And as we already saw, they continue to push them back and further as they attrit the opposition. This unit did in the background did a really good reform as they popped back in. Everybody kind of found their pace moving into the opposition. And then the opposition just got down to the last few and said, well, I'm going to take as many as I could with me. Does that sound about right, Joe? Where'd Joe go? So shy.
He's still
He's doing
Struggling
it.
with his headphones.
Did everybody follow that though? Were you able to watch that?
Yeah.
Nod your heads, put a hand up. Nobody cares.
This is a great turnout, guys. I just want to make a note. We got a great turnout of people today. And
It'll grow.
Thank you to all the chivalry for your support.
Joe, we still can't hear you. I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, you're muted now. Hold on a second. Ask to unmute.
He just remuted himself. Oh.
Yeah, you're unmuted. We still can't hear you, Joe.
See if he wrote something in the chat.
Where's it at? I lost the chat. I need to go back to my Zoom meeting. Where's my meeting box at?
In the first battle, Black Sword flanked right. At the same time, CCW pressed forward.
Right. Oh, you're reading what he put? Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, it's CWC now.
We did a perfect hammer and anvil on that group, and they evaporated.
Yeah. So, perfect example. There it is. Yeah, I see it now. Thank you, Dob, for that. No, a perfect example of a hammer and anvil with quite frankly, 50% or more new people who haven't really done that, I think. We're right around 50%. We had a lot of new folks out there that haven't seen this stuff in probably a decade. What else you got for us, Joe?
Then both went on to the rear of the remaining part.
Yeah. Yep. And just kept pushing them back. Yeah, we covered that while you were away from the desk there, Joe. You got any other things you want to type in?
All right.
Sir Ian did a cool thing in the next battle.
All right, let's see what the next battle is. Sorry.
Keep that smile. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
So, you can hear all this chatter on the phone. Guess that wasn't it. You know dang well the people to your right and left can hear. But what I don't, Kraken's doing a really good job of communicating. Hydra's not really communicating right before the fight.
They tried to cover both flanks and split in the middle. Ian went through the hole and attacked and killed me.
So Ian went through.
In this video, he did that, Joe? This looks like it's the same video from before. Why did it do that?
Field 2.
Well, there's only 2. It bounced back and forth. Which video, Joe?
It's in the second field battle.
Oh, the one that I was just on?
He said there's no good video of field 2.
Oh, okay. This has to be it. This looks like it was number 2. All right. Well, at any rate, you talked to Ian afterwards.
We got about 10 minutes, guys.
Get rid of this. Where'd the rest of it go? Okay.
So, Sir
I'm trying to
Dominic,
get you back control
during
here,
the second battle, you had some things that you really wanted to share about the second battle, concerns and redirections. Did you cover that already?
The second battle, I was out pretty quick because I was Nieces shot me in like the first half a second. during the second battle. So, um, but I'm trying to think what it, well, I can't. I think I covered everything that I was
Yeah.
looking to cover. Um,
Anybody have any questions about what we did or what we should have done? Any looking for any feedback, thoughts, ideas?
There's nothing wrong with asking questions and learning something. I can't help you
Hey,
guys grow if you don't ask me a question.
I had my hand raised earlier. The battle on the bridge with the
Sure.
wedge. I'm not sure if the angle was just throwing me off from the video. I just want to confirm, were they in a full like V wedge or were they wedged out? Here's the bridge and they were just wedged into that kind of like a
Their right side of their line was
okay, so it was the right side was just slightly forward like it looked like in the video.
It
I
was a
understand.
snowplow rather than a wedge.
Okay. So when
okay.
I think
So
snowplow, I think a V, so
yeah, well, that's bigger cities, bigger places of
Up
use.
north, the
The old ones were
snowplows.
always angled to
that's
one
right.
side or the other.
I've seen those where they have the
Going,
angling. Okay.
all right, going back to Sir Sochai, he says what Ian did where they tried to deal with flanking and open up the middle, and Sir Johannes jumped into the middle. He said it wasn't planned and it was good initiative on Johannes's part. In field two, Hydra did a good response. Hydra sent Valbrander, Drust, and Yon to hit Blacksword's flank attack. So they're right there. Hearing that from So Shy is we have the opportunity to win sections of wars simply because we lost the first one, but we paid attention to what they did and we reacted to it strongly in the second and third, or third, fourth, and fifth of battles, depending on if it's best of three or best of five. Does everybody understand that?
In other words, learn,
Yeah.
pay attention and learn and modify.
They all three hit Sir So Shy, but his guys kept going and Blank still succeeded. So there it is. Soshai has had some Black Sword people come out of retirement. He's had some people move back to the area, and he's got a unit of about 8 folks. And after 40, well, shoot, Joe, it's probably nod your head, Joe, if it's been about 15, 20 years since you ran with those guys as a sizable unit. Joe, yes or no? Nod your head and shake your head. Yeah. So it's been a while since I've seen Black Sword do that. And when they come along like this and they continue to work together after years and years, it shows you that this practice to train together is so very worthwhile. It's when we're practicing, like this weekend that's coming up. If you're coming up for this weekend, we're going to show you some things right on the spot. You want to learn how to command. If you're coming up this weekend just to fight Sir Timothy or Sir Joffrey, you know, you guys come to these practices because that's where, if you want to step up in leadership in the future, I'm going to emphasize sharing leadership. But even if you're not the leader for that weekend, if you're in a spot where you're in a resurrection battle or you lose most of your unit and you're capable of picking up, I watched I almost gave you a promotion there, Guillermo. I watched Sergeant Guillermo, Count Logan. Who else was in that woods battle with us, Guillermo? I watched all these folks take charge of different units from all over the known world that were on the Meridian side. Because as we walked up, we engaged and we moved people to be effective. All right. Um, you know, come and learn so you can be effective so you know what to do. Guillermo and who was the other person, Guillermo? You, Logan, and
Uh, uh, hmm.
there was at least one or two other folks that were
Logan
really
was
good.
there, and Cornelius was there.
He
Uh,
didn't really engage
no,
leadership all that much. Everybody else that was there did but him. But it was just really
Cormac.
amazing because nobody was talking. And I will say it over and over again. And quite frankly, if Sir Crispin was online, he's a general of the Mid-Realm Army, he would probably tell you that what we did with being our own little special forces group at times, and then going out and leading these other units to the win that Cormac essentially won for us. He pushed in that particular instance, if you haven't heard this, we had a 40-meter engagement just to get to the point of contention, 40 yards. And I got us about halfway there and I got shot in the face. And by the time I hoofed it all the way down and back, which is about a 150 to 200 yard walk to the resurrection point, Cormac had moved the unit not just to the point of contention, but past it. And because we took that point of contention when we did, mid-rum ended up with the best of 5 fights or whatever it was. So, or best for time. It was five points for time over 4 is what it was.
And that's a great place for us to wrap it up because that's the goal, so we can
Yep.
all have fun at war.
All right, so once again, real quick, if you don't have the invite for this weekend, it's get with me on Facebook Messenger and I'll get you an invite. But we are Possum Creek Skate Park here in Gainesville this Saturday at 9:30. We got a host of Meridians coming down, which is unheard of. And the 25 years that I've been a part of Trimaris, never seen this. We've got somewhere between 12 and 15 Meridians coming down to fight with us, train us, help us train them, and get this brotherhood back and hopefully get them back for our allies at Gulf Wars. Thank you, Guillermo.
Thanks for the great turnout, everybody. And we're all growing together. We're learning from each other. And I'll see you on the battlefield.